Shalom and welcome to Simple Biblical Hebrew. Today we're continuing on with our study of Psalm 23 in Hebrew, Mizmor Kaf Gimel, Psalm 23. And today we're picking it up in verse 4 in Hebrew. And we see it here on the left. We're only going to do half of the verse today because it's so long. And so today we want to look at, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are with me. Here we have it then in the Hebrew on the right, verse 4, Gam ki alech begei zalmavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi. Okay, so Gam is even though. Even though Gam is the Hebrew shorish, you can use it in different ways. It can mean also, sort of a connector word. So in this case, it's even though. Gam ki alech. And the though is literally the key. So even though, Gam ki. Gam ki alech. Alech is I walk. So the shorish is halak, which is to walk. But when you're going to say I walk, you would drop that hey and replace it with an aleph. So instead of halak, which is to walk, alak means I will walk. Means I will walk. So gam ki alach or gam ki elek is more what the Masoretes have here in the Nikud. Begei, that's in the valley. In is the bet. It's a prefix, be. And gay is one of the Hebrew words for valley. So, begei zalmuvet. Zalmuvet is shadow of death. Shadow in Hebrew is zal, and then death is mevet. So zal, mevet is shadow of death. Here's shadow. Well, here's zalmuvet, and then it comes from 6738, and that is Del, which is right here, shadow, and then it also comes from 4194 in the Strong's, Mevet, which is death. So it's a compound word, Del Mevet. So the valley of the shadow of death then in Hebrew is Gei Zalmavet, the valley of the shadow of death, or Ha-Gei Zalmavet, if you wanted to say it like that, the valley of the shadow of death. But in this case, it's in the valley of the shadow of death. So even though I walk in or through, the bet could also be a prefix for through. So in or through the valley of the shadow of death, lo ira ra. That's I will not fear. This is the Hebrew word for no. It's lo. Whenever you say no in Hebrew, you say lo. If you say yes, it's kin. So lo ira is I fear, literally. The Hebrew word for fear is yireh. And you can see it right here, Yud, Resh, Aleph. But in this case, it's I fear. So no, I fear. The Aleph is a prefix and it means I. So literally it would be Lo A Yera. But the Masoretes from around 1000 AD have it here as Lo Ira. Ra which is the Hebrew word for evil. So Ra, Lo Ira Ra, Ki, which is going to be for here. It's a conjuncted word for, and we saw it in the beginning of the verse translated though, even though, Gam Ki, and then here it's being translated in English as for. For Ata Imadi. Ata is the word for you in Hebrew. Imadi is you are with me. So Ki Ata Imadi, for you, really stand with me, is literally the shoresh here. In fact, let me just bring some of these up with the different Hebrew Bible here. And so I'm going to come down to, here's the root Ata, which is you. It's right here. Ki Ata, you. And then here is Amadi. The root is Amad, which is to stand, to be with. It's the Hebrew word for to stand, to be with, kind of like that. So, Imadi is the Lord is standing with me. So I won't be afraid when I go through the valley of the shadow of death, whatever that valley may be on any given day. It changes. But as we walk here on this planet, waiting for heaven, waiting for Yeshua to return, we go through many valleys of the shadow of death, don't we? Emotionally, spiritually, physically, familiarly, there's just so many valleys of darkness that we walk through, but we won't fear. We won't fear because the Lord is our shepherd. Adonai Roi, or our shepherd would be Adonai Roenu, and He's with us. He's standing with us in the valleys of trials, in the valleys of sufferings. He's holding our hand and guiding us through as a loving shepherd. And so we won't fear because we trust Him, that He's going to see us. He knows the ways, and they're eternal ways. Ma'alam, they're eternal ways. He knows the ways through the valleys of the shadows of death in life, and He knows how to lead us through to green pastures and to quiet waters. So I hope that blesses you today. Beginning then in verse 1, remember we want to learn to pray this in Hebrew, and I hope the Lord blesses your day. Adonai Roi Lo Achsar Bi Neot Dashe Irbiteni Al Me Manuchot Ya Nachaleni Nefshi Yeshuvev Yenacheni B'magale Zedek Lama'an Shimo Gam Ki Alech Bagay Zalmavet Lo Ira Ra Ki Ata Amadi.